Here at Ohio Stadium, Doug Maurice, Bill Landis. Bill Landis, how much does the Ohio State offensive line need to be fixed, and how would you fix it?
I think it's a little alarming the way they've played the last couple of weeks. In the run game, especially against Minnesota, the pass protection was bad too. Dwayne Haskins got sacked 3 times, which I think might be a season high they've given up this year. It just wasn't a good all-around game for the offensive line, but the run game has been a problem for most of the season. They're just not getting a push, and like the box is loaded a lot. It's not loaded all the time. Like that's not only what it is. The interior of the offensive line, I think, is not as good as it's been in the past. And it's like the past has been like Remington Winners and All-Americans at guard, which I get, like it's fine if it's not quite there. But there's a pretty wide gap in my opinion. So my fix, or at least something I would explore, is like see if you can move Michael Jordan back to guard and either play Josh Myers at center, or if Brady Taylor is healthy, try to play him at center. Brady Taylor in the offseason went from a guy who we thought was going to start to a third-teamer. Now he's hurt, and I don't know how much of that was he was hurt and how much of that was he got beat out by Jordan and Josh Myers, but I just think you need to explore that position, and it's not ideal to be working in a new center in the middle of the season. But we know Michael Jordan's a good guard, and Demetrius Knox was a pretty good guard at the end of last year. Malcolm Pridgeon, I think, has been inconsistent, and I'm not saying he's the one that has to go. I think you explore both guard spots, but that interior, I think, just needs to get a look, and they have some guys at center I think maybe they should consider trying out.
That was not my suggestion, but that's a good suggestion because that to me would sound like last year when they put Tuff Borland as a redshirt freshman in the starting lineup at middle linebacker because they figured out Chris Worley's not a middle linebacker. Put Chris Worley back at what he does best, which is outside linebacker. Put Michael Jordan back at what he does best, which is guard, and play a redshirt freshman like Josh Myers at center. You said like Josh Myers is a center right now. I mean, he's a center. He's the second-team center. He's been practicing at center. So it's not like he's not ready. It's just, is he good enough? Is that a better offensive line? But he's ready. He works with the second team every day. He's a center. I'm wondering about Brandon Bowen, who broke his leg last year. He was the starting right guard last year, broke his leg. Demetrius Knox came in and played very well. Brandon Bowen's back at practice. We saw that. He was tweeting about it this week. I'm back. Here I am. We saw him in uniform that he was practicing this week. I don't know where he is in coming back from a broken leg, but if Brandon Bowen can be healthy, I think you've got to think about, can he maybe come back in and start for this team? He won the job in 2017, and then he didn't get the chance to defend his starting job because he was hurt. Yep. So, I mean, they haven't gotten it, and we've talked about the guards a lot, and it's because it matters. The idea that, like, Michael Jordan, Josh Myers, Brandon Bowen, like that threesome might be better than Pridgeon, Jordan, Knox, I'd look at it, or I'd look at some combination of it.
Yeah, I think that's good too. I guess I should have offered that caveat with my suggestion. Like, if Brandon Bowen is healthy, I think that's where you look first. I just don't know where, like you said, where he's at. They play Purdue next week, and then they have a bye. And maybe if Brandon Bowen is healthy coming off of that bye, then you look at that. He broke his leg last year, had surgery, and then before the season started, had surgery again because that broken leg wasn't healing correctly. He was dressed. I don't think he was dressed today though, was he?
I don't know.
I just don't know where he's. Urban Meyer said he was close to coming back to practice. I don't think he's ready. Like, I don't expect to see Brandon Bowen against Purdue next week, but 3 weeks against Nebraska, maybe. And if he's ready to go, I look at that first. But if not, they have young, intriguing guys on the interior. Josh Myers, even Wyatt Davis is a guy that Urban Meyer's been talking about a little bit. I just think you got to give him a look. And what happens in practice is stuff we don't see. I get that. Like, we only see what happens out here, but it's holding them back a little bit, and I think if it continues this way, it can hold them back from accomplishing what they want to accomplish. So they got to explore changes.
And that's one of the spots where I think they can do something. Isaiah Prince, the right tackle, had a bad game on Saturday. He's a 3-year starter, senior captain. The backup right tackle's a true freshman. Like, they're not making that change. Isaiah Prince just has to have a better game in future weeks. So some stuff you can try to fix, and some stuff you just need to try to scheme around it, have better performances. I don't know why Isaiah Prince was having a really rough day, and it did not ever seem like he got much help.
Yeah, I don't know what that was either. Like, he clearly needed it. He was having a bad game. He's been good all year, I think. He's had a bad game against Minnesota, but when that's happening, you got to put a running back there or a tight end or somebody to help that guy out, and they just kind of left him on that island. I thought that was poor coaching.
He gave up a sack, and then at one point he gave up a sack, and the next play had a holding penalty. Had another play where I think he had a series where he blew a block on a Mike Weber run and then gave up a sack like the next play. Like, you needed to do something to try to make an adjustment there, and I don't think they did it. He's Bill, I'm Doug. Interesting times ahead for the Buckeyes here at cleveland.com.